Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sports Center of Las Vegas for the opening round of the Showbox Super Middleweight Tournament. Brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions in association with Round One Entertainment, PFTC, and Showtime. Tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Skip Avancino Jr. The executive director is Keith Kaiser. Also sanctioned by the IBO, Supervisor Frank Brunette. The three judges who will be scoring this bout will be Carol Castellano, Dave Moretti, and Glenn Trowbridge. And your referee in charge is Richard Steele. This bout, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, he'll be fighting out of the blue corner. He entered the ring wearing the yellow trunks with red stripes, and he weighed in at 168 pounds. He is unbeaten as a professional with 11 victories, no losses, 8 wins by knockout. From Cartago, Costa Rica, here is Lucas El Pirata Green Arias. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing blue and white trunks, and he weighed in at 167 pounds. He too is unbeaten with 13 victories, no losses, and 11 big wins by knockout. He comes to us from Capitol Heights, Maryland, introducing Henry Sugar Poo Buchanan.
Okay, his navel is there. You see his navel. So anything below that is a low blow. Keep your punches up. I want a good, clean fight. Shake hands, good luck.
We are ready to start this super middleweight tournament. It's Lucas Green Arias in the red and gold, and Sugar Poo Henry Buchanan in the white and blue. Buchanan sticks that jab once, twice with authority, but coming forward is Lucas Green Arias, who likes middle distance and long range, Steve, but he's trying to walk Buchanan down now.
Green Arias should be looking for a counter right hand because Buchanan does not bring his jab back after he shoots it.
Well, he better put his left hand up, Buchanan. He's got it dangerously low and trying to wind up with that left. We saw him do it wildly in early fights on tape, and it looks like he hasn't been cured of it, which is a definite flaw in his game.
Yeah, really. Buchanan came in with a Sean Merriman jersey from the Chargers. That's his nephew, believe it or not.
Lucas Green Arias lunging a little bit. His chin is dangerously up in the air when he did that. Not a lot of connects here very early in the fight. But impressive that Green Arias is certainly not running. Not a lot on that right hand from him. And now it's Buchanan showing a lot of shoulder, just darting out of range. And trying to dial in, at least read and see how Green Arias moves.
You could already see Buchanan's style. He's a guy that's loosey-goosey in the ring and depends on reflexes and quickness, not really technique.
Right, and here he goes, just cracking with that lead left hook, and now a wild overhand right. So he looks very undisciplined here.
And these two are very similar in terms of pro experience. As Nick said earlier in the show, both relatively untested.
Green Arias coming forward. He's got a tight defense, putting punches together. Really a little bit of a jab and a right hand, not trying to double the jab. And Buchanan really probing and fighting this first round pretty cautiously.
Well, the story of the first 2 minutes, Buchanan's jab. I mean, it's not always landing, but he's using it, and Green Arias isn't using his.
Green Arias walking in behind a tight defense, but really little else there. Little baby hook, double jab from Buchanan. Buchanan inviting Green Arias in, and he gets clocked with a right hand as he does. So Buchanan just standing around in what I call no man's land, and he got hit as a result. Green Arias in the gold and red, the aggressor in this first round, and Steve, so far it may be enough for him to steal it.
Well, I don't know. I think it's been mostly ineffective aggressiveness. Sugar Poo hasn't exactly been effective. That's a nice lead left hand.
And then he followed with that right and a right again. Green Arias holding his ground and pumping a left to the ribs. Down the stretch here in round 1. Oh,
Time!
Green Arias walked into a right hand. What a setup that was.
Hey, no quiero que pierdas la cabeza. No tienes que perder la cabeza porque te dio un golpe. Tienes que pensar por qué es de que te dio ese golpe. ¿Eh? ¿Eh? Despacio. Usted está ganando este round. ¿Para qué lo echa a perder?
Okay, I want you to punch in the face. You're not just go for the face. You won that round. I think you won that round.
No, Nick called this first round real close. That was just before Buchanan had this little flurry here. Nice right hand grazed off the top of Arias' head. Very simply, Buchanan's letting his hands go here. Arias, I think, thought he hurt Buchanan there at the end, but most of that exchange was all Buchanan.
Well, they say keep it simple in the corner, and that's not as simple as it comes. Punch to the face. Hadn't heard that in a while, Steve.
KISS, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Lucas Green Arias coming forward once again. But you hit on it, Steve. He's not coming in behind that jab, and Buchanan able to pot shot, pick him off, show him a little shoulder, a little head fake, maybe get him to commit and counter as well. He was effective with the counter punch, was Henry Buchanan, in that first round. Nice right to the body, and then a return fire to the body from Green Arias. Hands low by Henry Buchanan.
Yeah,
really no need for that.
Exactly, and that's a point that has to be made. Lucas Arias has to throw in combination, because when a fighter keeps his hands low all the time like Buchanan, well, you know, he's going to use reflexes to get away. You may miss the first shot, but you may land the second or the third shot.
Boy, Lucas Green Arias just looks literally green. Never been off his feet once in the amateurs, never as a pro. He wants to control range, is what he said coming in, but he seems to be wanting to violate Buchanan's space a little bit. So he definitely is not standing on the outside. But look, walking in, not punching, not even really showing the jab there finally. And Buchanan able to pick and probe.
And Green wanted an outside fight. He's got one. He's forced to come forward because Buchanan's quicker, and he's able to land on the outside.
Green Arias looks very mechanical, doesn't he, Steve?
Yes, he looks a little stiff and a little slow.
Both of these guys, we say again, untested. Taking a step up, and maybe a little blood trickling from Green Arias' left nostril. There's that left hand, and Buchanan successfully keeps turning Green Arias, who isn't as adept, it seems, as in his movements.
Well, there's only one athlete in the ring in there, and that's Sugarproof. He's quick, changing angles, and Green Arias, being a little robotic, is not adjusting that well.
Single shots, though, from Buchanan. They want him to keep moving, and he's moving in a predictable way, continually to the left, and Green Arias is just walking into shots.
Well, he can move any way he wants, Sugarproof, because he's not being pressured with anything significant.
It's like Green Arias doesn't know what to do. And now he chases him, connecting with one shot and missing with two others. Buchanan able to fight somewhat effectively backing up because, as you said, Steve, he's not getting hit with anything clean. But I thought when I watched the film of Buchanan that if you push him back, not drive him back, he can't fight backing up. But he's been able to do it through 2 rounds here.
Time!
Así es como tú tienes que agarrar y pelear, no estar agarrando y esperando. Si tú no esperas, perdemos la...
Si espera, le hace su boxeo, Lucas. Tiene que ir llevarla. El partido, Lucas.
Usted tiene que tirar las manos. Usted tiene con
Trying
que...
to hit
Tiene
you
con
with the right hand. Keep your left hand. Look for it. You're looking, you got good eye contact.
That's what you gotta do now. Touch his body. You gotta bend and touch his body a little bit, okay? You hear me? Watch him. Watch him. So he got him with a right hand.
He's getting desperate. Keep your hands up. He's getting desperate. All right?
Again. One more time. Beautiful work.
Okay?
Curious advice in the corner in terms of the only desperation I saw is that Green Arias at the end of each round has tried to chase down Buchanan. He did land a solid right hand to the body of the belt, but beyond that, I'm not seeing desperation. I'm seeing befuddlement on the part of him.
And another point, Nick, is that Junius Hinton is telling Buchanan to keep his hands up. I think that's sort of like telling the ship captain before they cross the Atlantic, don't let the boat get wet, because Buchanan fights with his hands low. That's how he fights.
Just don't ever think it's a good idea. His hands are up now, but again, he's not in position to punch, it seems. So you could have a point, Steve. Just more comfortable from just unloading from a different point. Oh, right on the hip.
It's not so important where Buchanan's hands are before he punches. It's what happens after he punches.
Oh, and he got hit there, clipped with a little baby hook from Green Arias, but Green Arias with nothing else. There he is, just little feints, trying to feint his way in, but not punch his way in, ever. Oh, nice counter left hand, as again, it's Henry Buchanan who continues to change angles and turn and run Lucas Arias, Green Arias into punches. Green Arias had Buchanan there and tracked him down, didn't know what to do. So both these guys looking vastly inexperienced, and again, it's very early in the tournament, but you'd have to consider the winner here regardless of long shot. Just based on skill and past performance, they haven't been match tough.
Conditioning is going to be a key, Nick. Buchanan says the biggest improvement he's made is in taking conditioning seriously. Well, he's using movement here. That's what's working. And to do that for 10 rounds when you're only an 8-round fighter, he better be in great shape.
Just spoke to Barry Hunter, who formerly trained Buchanan and trains the Peterson brothers, and he said that is the question, and you really don't know. The kid has talent, but will he pay the price? Is he committed enough to his career? Good combination from Henry Buchanan on a solid right hand, and it looked like he had Green Arias in trouble. And now Buchanan definitely revving it up offensively. And there's blood from the right nostril of Green Arias. Green Arias getting wild now, and perhaps Junius Hinton, his words between rounds, a self-fulfilling prophecy, because Green Arias does look desperate.
Buchanan should be very happy to keep this pace, score a little bit with the left hand, which now, by the way, is by his side again, because he's not getting hit. He doesn't have to open up that much. That'll only give Green Arias a chance to hit him.
And arguably, Henry Buchanan has swept the first 3 rounds in the opener of our super middleweight showbox tournament.
Lucas, tienes que tirar más. Tienes que tirar más. No,
I want you to hit him more. I want you to hit him more.
No le tiras. ¿Qué pasa?
What's wrong? What
¿Estás
happened?
amarrado o qué? Este tipo tiene un miedo que no puede con él.
This time you're not doing anything with him. What's wrong?
Tienes que tirar, Lucas, porque venimos a
Action from round 3. Buchanan's strategy, keep throwing, downstairs and up. The left hook lands, follows it with a big right hand that sort of wobbled Green Arias. Buchanan's been fairly accurate, certainly enough to win the 3 rounds.
And Green Arias looked a little wobbly going back to his corner. And his trainer's bet, what is going on with him? He tells him to punch more, but do more, but how? What about some advice? You don't know if the kid's capable. So through 3, Steve, is there any doubt in your mind?
No, I think that flurry at the end of the first round gave Buchanan round 1. 2 and 3 were clear.
I'm with you there. Henry Buchanan, both fighters undefeated, is in the white and blue, and in the red and gold from Costa Rica, Lucas Green Arias. Arguably well behind in this 10-round fight. Opening round of our super middleweight 8-man single elimination tournament. We're in Las Vegas. Nick Charles with Steve Farhood will be back next week to complete the first round. Buchanan flicking the jab, getting elusive and avoiding shots, content to fight at his pace. Not a single clinch in this fight. Trying to find some redeeming value to Lucas Green Arias.
Well, he's still here.
Off balance there, not really a big shot, but that was a nice right hand as Buchanan really cracked with it. Left hook grazed Lucas Green Arias. He won't hold on though. He's down. Hands are a little bit low now. Let's see if Buchanan could pick it up even more and start applying the pressure. He's still content to do the moving here and let Green Arias walk into shots. And the Costa Rican is obliging heavily. Look at on the turn there, on the switch, so to speak. Green Arias did nothing, just looking at Henry Buchanan, Steve. Now find the right followed by a left.
Well, there are really only two ways to handle a fighter who's beating you with his jab. One is to jab with him. The other is to counter the jab so he stops throwing it. And Green Arias hasn't really even tried either one.
Henry Buchanan apparently having his way here.
Nick, you got to call him Sugar Poo. I've told you this for a week. It's the best nickname in the tournament. I mean, one of the best in boxing.
Let's let him get the round two.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's got to earn it.
I'm not going to fire all my guns now.
I don't consider him another, even though his waistband says Sugar. I'm not putting him in with the same nickname as Leonard and Robinson yet, but Sugar Poo, you gotta like it.
Oh, that's a start.
His eyes, look at his eyes, Sugar Poo, wide open. He sees everything that's happening. He's very focused. He knows that this is an opportunity for him that he otherwise, he was just a local club fighter from Maryland. Certainly wasn't going anywhere, and this is an opportunity for him. And which you have to try to determine, and we may not have the answer till next week. Is he looking good because there's not much in front of him? Or is he looking good because he's boxing better than he ever has before?
Precisely. In August, America's Fight Night brings you brothers in action with world titles on the line.
Understand me? You can put a right hand behind the two jabs.
Action from round 4 again, in combination from Buchanan. He's got pretty decent hand speed, I'll tell you. And technically, he's looked better tonight than I've ever seen him watching him on tape. First time I've seen Sugar Poo live.
I'll agree with that, Steve. I think he's landing cleaner shots than we'd seen. I thought he really lacked sharpness and accuracy in the films we'd seen. And that's what he's doing. We saw those in early fights. That's
exactly,
again, really getting wild.
Yeah, that's the shot we saw over and over on tape. Long overhand rights where he fell forward over his body. He got hit with a little left hook there.
Well, Green Arias doing what you said he had to do. Now he countered a wild shot. Buchanan with power shots, not working off the jab as much, and Green Arias timed him a little bit, it seemed, and connected. Green Arias inside, not knowing what to do. So he'll step back and start again. Again, without that jab, trying to pick off the jab of Buchanan with his gloves, but not coming back with anything. Now he takes the lead with a soft jab to the stomach once, then twice, but nothing behind it. And there, a good move by Green Arias as he rolls under a shot and counters with a left to the stomach, or the ribs of Henry Buchanan. Buchanan single shots in this round again. We talked about, Steve, about him putting things together.
Maybe he's a different fighter when under a little pressure. I mean, this round he's gotten a little bit of pressure coming at him. Green Arias has turned it up just a notch. And that was a combination by Green Arias. I told you he was capable of that, Nick.
It almost seems as if Buchanan's taking a breather here in the 5th. And that would be alarming to me that he would need to. I think key for Green Arias, again, I don't think he's capable of driving Buchanan back, but really pushing him back and maybe in a straight line, and just not letting him have his way in terms of controlling this fight with his movement. Now, Green Arias not doing anything, just walking in, expecting to roll under a shot and come with that counter left hook to the ribs.
This is such a key round for one, because it's there to be won. He started coming forward. He had a good first half of the round, and he needs something to build on, Nick. He needs something to get some confidence from. And look how he's fighting the last minute of this round. Same old guy.
Gets hit with a left. Buchanan controlling distance here, moving out of range. His hands are up, not firing, just trying to read Green Arias' moves and maybe counter him. Good left by Buchanan, that as he takes the play. Soft left back from Green Arias. They exchange really left hands and nothing more. Well, a closer round than we've seen in the previous four. As we complete 5 of this scheduled 10-rounder.
El baque.
Eso es todo lo que necesitamos más.
Give me the buck.
Está con miedo. Si no es malo, entrar a matar, pero está con miedo.
Lucas, tira, por favor, tira más golpes.
Hit him, please, hit him.
Muévete un poquito más. ¿No quieres tirar? Mueve la cintura.
I want you to move. Hit him.
Early in round 5, Lucas Arias, nice left hook downstairs, right hand upstairs. If he did that a little bit more, maybe Buchanan would empty his gas tank by moving a little bit
Bien,
more.
bueno. Vamos a trabajar, vamos a...
Steve, everything's relative. You're the boxing historian. Costa Rica is a beautiful country, but in terms of being a bastion of world-class boxing timber, how do you rate it?
No, I mean, among the Central American countries and South American countries, it's not up there because really the best-known fighters who have fought out of Costa Rica, Ricardo Mayorga, but he's Nicaraguan, so Costa Rica's never had a world champion. And I don't want to jinx him, Nick, but with half this fight gone, I don't think Lucas Green Arias is going to be the first.
No, he doesn't seem to belong in his company, and Buchanan just again being able to control everything because very little coming back at him. Lucas Green Arias, who admittedly is not a huge puncher, has to do something. He's got to be busier than him, and he hasn't gotten busy at all in this fight. Just walking in very awkwardly.
He's a step behind. That's what it is. He doesn't have the hand speed or the foot speed to match Sugarpool.
And it looks like Buchanan has timed and clocked and read every move that's coming, like that. But again, one punch could change it, and Buchanan can't get careless. Green's walked his man down and doesn't know what to do with him.
Well, you notice that Buchanan's a little more tentative now, Nick. It seems.
Why, Steve?
He shouldn't be. Well, his corner told him, you know, Green Arias is desperate. Don't take any chances. But when you build a lead with 5 straight rounds, you keep doing what you were doing.
And in a tournament, of course, it's maybe not important how you won, did you win? But playing it this safe against a guy who really, I don't think has hurt you at all, doesn't seem like the most desirable way to go. There's a nice right hand from Buchanan. And now he's going to follow up, measure his man. He cracks with a left hook. Let's see if he can fight inside. Nope, he wants to get a little space between himself and his opponent. So it looks like Buchanan's aware of smothering his own power inside. Green Arias looks so slow, doesn't he, Steve?
He does.
Buchanan was right there.
Yeah, Buchanan missed a pretty bad 1-2 combination, and he was there to be hit. Nothing came back his way.
Green Arias waiting. An occasional jab to be first. Missing with 2 shots, and Buchanan really didn't make him pay for that.
Well, the second half of this fight's all about conditioning, as far as I'm concerned, and also focus for Sugarpool.
Well, Buchanan's been 8 twice, and never beyond 6 has been Lucas Green Arias.
Yeah, that's not a promising sign.
Buchanan just doesn't feel, I believe, that Green Arias could hurt him.
Time.
Okay, champ.
Here you go, right here.
Take a deep breath. There you go. You're working good, son. You're working good.
Vamos a ir.
The doctor having a pretty intense look at Lucas Green Arias, and the corner assuring him that he does want to continue. Just not fighting with enough heart to suggest that.
Round 6, Buchanan showing that he can make the transition from defense to offense. He's slipping shots. Basically, he's been out of range of Green Arias for most of this fight. And then later in the round, turns it up. That's a nice counter right hand. Green Arias should learn from that punch because that's the exact shot he should be trying to learn.
Steve, we haven't heard everything in Lucas Green Arias' corner, but it doesn't seem that the fighter himself knows what to do, and I don't know if the corner could give him anything substantive in terms of game plan. Right hand by Lucas Green Arias. Let's see if he could follow up.
That's the kind of fight this has been, though. When the guy lands one single shot, you know, our eyes are raised because we haven't seen that too often.
And now it's all jab from Buchanan, his left hand low.
Green Arias has a lot of zeros right there. He's in new ground. Buchanan, conditioning's been an issue for him in the past, but at least he's been 8. And at this pace, you got to figure 10 is not going to be that much of a challenge.
Buchanan following off that, fighting off the jab with a good right hand. You'd like to see more of that from him. Steve, you get the impression with Buchanan, does he definitely want to take the lead? It almost looks like he would like to be a counter puncher as well, or maybe more than a guy who gets off first.
Well, he's countered a couple of times, but he can't take that counterpuncher approach for the simple reason that there's nothing to counter. You know, I mean, Green Arias just isn't throwing. But so Buchanan's doing the right thing.
Why isn't he throwing more? It's hard to, of course, get inside his head, but you get hit with a right hand there, that might wake him up. His hands are still down. We saw a lot of sweat fly. It's hard to tell how flush Green Arias landed, but 2 right hands in this 7th round, the best punches by him all night.
And you ask why Sugar Poo isn't working more, punching more. A lot of that could very well have to do with the fact that he's going 10 for the first time. There could be a little doubt in his mind.
A little hot dog in him right there.
Oh, yeah. Nick, we talked about the quality of opposition, both these guys being untested, and sure enough, if you look at Buchanan's record, no familiar names, but he was in a street fight with William Joppy, so should that count?
Depends on who won. Green Arias' trainer didn't accompany him on his first trip to the United States from Costa Rica, so perhaps that's why the synergy in the corner isn't much from what we hear.
It's a good point, and that's kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah, how bad has he wanted?
Right, step back.
Sorry, I couldn't make it. We came up through next to nothing, and now we're in the biggest possibility of our careers, and I got other things to do.
Right.
Right hand again by Green Arias. Getting beat to the punch, and there, off the little turn, that left hook to Buchanan.
Time.
Not a bad round by Lucas Green Arias. How do you have it, Steve? Give you a little time to total it up.
It doesn't take long. 70 to 63, 7-0 for Buchanan.
Vamos por el octavo ya. Vamos por el octavo. 3 rounds faltan.
Tú no puedes dejar que te esté vacilando este tipo. Si usted es mejor boxeador que él,
you have to give me more, box more.
Que esté haciendo eso. ¿Ah? Tire golpes, que es lo que usted tiene
Hit
que
him,
hacer.
punch him.
Tirando golpes es como se gana las peleas. Si usted no tira golpes, no gana.
Action from round 7. If you're looking for something from Arias, well, that's it, a right and a left. But he had to lean, almost jump way in with that second punch. It was really just a jab. Kind of a sucker shot. Okay. But nothing serious. Buchanan not hurt.
Tire golpes, que ya nos va a faltar 2 rounds nos faltan.
And, you know, just being a fill-in trainer, what can you really tell a guy you really probably had never seen in a ring before? Hey, you know, hit more, land more, throw more. But how? You don't know if the guy's capable of all or any of it.
Exactly. Lucas Arias was a mystery to all of us. There was no tape. his competition in Costa Rica. Hey, he had a lot of knockouts, but against who?
Well, my suspicions have been realized so far as we hit the 8th round. That he was in soft his entire career, softer than Buchanan, simply because of Buchanan fighting here in the States.
To draw an analogy with the March Madness tournament, Lucas Green Arias is sort of like the winner of that tournament from that tiny little conference in Tennessee that nobody's ever seen on national TV. Now, he's not in with the #1 seed here, but he's playing as if he's not quite at the level of the bigger schools.
He just hit Buchanan with a right hand, but we haven't seen a punch from either guy for 20 seconds.
And where's the follow-up, Nick? You know, a little success.
What is Buchanan doing? Again, it doesn't matter. He's won every round, probably, Steve. You're right. If he stays out of danger, he moves into the 2nd round. But
survive and advance, right?
I suppose.
Well, that's why I said before, we're not going to know how good Sugar Poo is until round 2.
I would open up. I'm not saying go for broke, but make it a great sparring session for yourself, if nothing else.
And maybe, this being a tournament format, maybe that changes a fighter's approach a little bit.
He doesn't want to give himself up?
You got your win, you know you're fighting the next round, you take your win, you put it in your pocket, and you get defensive and cautious. Well, you might not do that, you know, if your performance is going to result in a big fight next time or not a big fight next time.
Right. So you're saying it's not only the fact that you don't want to show your opponent too much of your game, but also you don't want to risk being knocked out of this, because it is a quick knockout single elimination.
Exactly.
Still would like to see more out of a guy who, you look at the cards, you pick up a paper or look at a website tomorrow and you see this guy won arguably 188, and you say, you looked at the films, did he look great? So far, no. Did he look dominant? Yes, simply because of the inabilities of his opponent, rather than the out-and-out Class A skills of Henry Buchanan.
Well, these last couple of rounds, from Buchanan's perspective, they're going to be all about focus.
Time.
Good round. Good round.
Suck it up.
Take a deep breath.
Suck it up. Get the mouthpiece ready.
Take a deep breath. Get a good breath.
Good work. Good work.
That's my first time.
I got you.
That's just
With the cold towel.
I got you.
My eyes.
I got you. Good work.
Champ.
Good work.
He's desperate. He don't have nothing to lose. Keep having fun. You're still depending on that right hand. You
Give him a little
understand me?
bit.
You're still depending on that right hand. That's it.
Suck it up. Breathe.
You're still depending on it. What I need you to do, I need you to keep working. Working.
Pull that hook down. You heard me?
Understand?
Keep your right hand up and pull the hook. Work the hook.
That's it.
Good work. Good work. Good work, Sugar.
We hit the 9th here in Las Vegas. Henry Buchanan in the white and blue, and in the gold and red, Lucas Green Arias, who has fallen hopelessly behind, we could say with, I would say, a reasonable amount of conviction. Steve Farhood.
Well, you know it's a little bit one-sided and not the most dramatic fight when you start reading the fighter's trunks, and there's a lot to read on Lucas Arias. I mean, he's got Rigo's taco. I don't know why Rigo only has one taco, but I'm getting hungry reading his trunks.
Green Arias just trying to read every move that Lucas Green Arias is about to make. But he just hasn't put it in gear tonight at all. And as Stevie hit it on it in the first round. He looked slow, doesn't he? Green Arias.
Both foot and hand speed lateral.
Right. Buchanan able to box when he wants to box, and rest when he wants to rest. So going 10 should be no problem because he hasn't been pressed more than a moment or two in this fight. Boy, Steve, that'll be the big key. What do you do when he gets pressured, where he inevitably will if he lasts long enough in this tournament and wins, starting by winning tonight? I just wanted a little bit more. I said he would probably go in, Steve. I thought Buchanan would argue, would probably have to make this fight, so how intelligently would he do it? And it is a safety first approach, those single shots, and there's that one-note, one-trick pony from Lucas Green Arias, the right hand.
Very slow, Green Arias. Again, never been past 6 before. Promised you that in round 2, Henry Buchanan will be seeing a lot more punches coming his way, regardless of who wins between Mendy and Vargas.
That will be October 6th in California when we hit the Final Four, so to speak, of our super middleweight tournament. This is the opening round. 8 men who had won 95% of their fights collectively. 2 unbeatens here in our opening bout, and that will soon change as we wind down the 9th of a scheduled 10-rounder. These are all 10-round fights, of course. Single elimination tournament. One of these guys going home, the other will move on.
I think we can back up just a little bit. So we get
Con la cubeta, la otra. No, no, no.
Ok, perdón.
He don't give a shit what happened. He got nothing to lose. He got nothing to lose. Yes, sir?
No, I'm fine.
I got you.
Ya. Es el último round.
This is the final round.
Just keep your hands up. He's desperate.
I know what happened.
He got nothing to lose.
You can flick
Don't
him
talk
all
about
day
it.
long. You hear me?
That's him.
Son los tres últimos minutos, ¿ok?
Give me 3 good minutes.
Boy, oh boy. How about the master of the obvious there, Steve? Hey, it's the final round. Give me 3 good minutes. And the chant from Junius Hinton in Buchanan's corner all night has been he's got nothing to lose. He's desperate. Well,
You mean you wouldn't call that a Newt Rockney quality pep talk now?
how about going out there and getting rid of him?
No backhand.
And Green Arias has been down once as an amateur, never off his feet as a professional in 11 fights. But nobody's saying Buchanan is a home run hitter by any means, but it's definitely been single shots here. An occasional combination. And forget about playing too much defense. I think he's going to have to show so much more offensively to be a viable threat in this tournament.
And we just saw a key moment there that symbolized, it encapsulates this whole fight. For a split second there, Buchanan, hey, don't look into the crowd, Sugarpoo. That's not at this point in the fight. But for a split second there, his back was to the ropes. He spun right away. He hasn't spent 5 seconds in this fight against the ropes or on the inside. Now, granted, Lucas Green's letting him do that, but it does take some discipline and some focus for Sugarpoo to fight the way he's fighting. Now, listen, this is the same crowd that's going to be here watching his next week's opponent, so I don't think he really wants to alienate the crowd here. A little bit of fighting might be a good idea.
Hey, he's alienating me, Steve.
He did that all. He's been doing that all fight.
Sorry.
Right, step back.
He hasn't
Do enough to win. I can't really hold that against him.
Right.
But I am.
You're entitled. It's all right. Well, I think
you're Steve. You're right. These fans may be waiting for
They
him.
don't like this.
They may be waiting at the gate after we're wrapped up.
They don't like this.
He's flirting with disaster here, and I don't mean from his opponent. We're in Las Vegas where they know fights.
That's for sure. You don't want to win a fight 10 rounds to 0 or 9-1 and get booed as you leave the ring.
Steve, when you haven't been hit more than 3 or 4 times and never really had your bell rung, and you're backing up here in the 10th round, it just doesn't make sense to me. Just engage this guy. You know, fight quick and get out. He looks like he's certainly not dead on his feet, Buchanan.
You could tell the little smile from Sugar Poo. He's a little happy. He's a little impressed with himself.
Good point. I'll give him that. Green Arias has not had the answers all night. He has absolutely been bewildered at the sight of Henry Buchanan. And if you throw enough, you're going to have to land occasionally. And he has landed maybe 4 or 5 right hands in this entire fight, and that has been it. Otherwise, zip.
Well, I'm giving Green Arias the 10th round. I don't think he's landed a single punch, Nick. It's just a matter of principle.
So we got it, what, 99, 89?
99 to 91.
91.
9-1, right?
Carlos Jones, I'm at Courtney Alvimo. My nephew Sean from San Diego. Chads, I love y'all.
There you go.
Put on a box.
There you go.
Okay, no problems.
There you go.
So there was a boxing clinic, according to Henry Buchanan. He certainly did enough to win this fight going away. And it became apparent after the first, second round. I don't know where I was. I must have had my back to the ring saying that Green Arias was winning that first round. But one for the scrapbooks, the super middleweight tournament. First of 2 fights tonight. We're back here in Las Vegas, same place, same time. 2 more fights next week, and then we'll be down to the field of 8 will be cut in half.
Lucas. Action from round 10 here, Nick. Sugar Poo taking the round off, doing a little showboating. You're not allowed to grab the ropes here, Sugar Poo, but he is athletic and he moves well. Didn't land any of those shots. And that's about the best Green Arias can do. He never really committed to his shots, never came forward. And as was a concern of mine, focus was a little bit of an issue for Buchanan in the 10th round, and the fans didn't like this.
And the cheers go up for Lucas Green Arias.
Why?
He finished on his feet. So that is one record that's intact. Jake Gutierrez upstairs will make it official now.
All day long.
I beat him with 1 hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. Judge Carol Castellano scored this bout 96-94. Judge Dave Moretti saw it 98-92. And Judge Glenn Crowbridge scores it 97-93. All for the winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Henry Sugar Poo Buchanan.